I'm going to get a lot of heat for this one. I'm not kidding. Welcome in. I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything beauty, fitness, and lifestyle for the over 50 and over 60 woman. I'm so glad you stopped by today. This is going to be a controversial video, and I'm going to explain myself in the beginning. If you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing me before you leave, and make sure you click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Recently, I've had quite a number of you ask me about my daily supplement routine, like what I take, vitamins, minerals, that sort of thing. In addition, I recently did a video talking about parasites and how I deal with parasites. And so many more of you said, what do you take besides the parasite supplement? Like, what's your daily routine? So I am going to go over my daily routine today. And you know what? A lot of you are going to lose your minds. I know that. I know that. And I just want to caution you, it's going to be okay. Here's the deal. I take a lot of supplements. I know that. I'm aware of that. You don't need to point it out. I know that. And the reason that I do is because I just manage my health differently than a lot of people I know. And I want to point out that last statement, that I manage my health a lot differently than my friends. And what that means is you don't have to think the way I think. You don't have to take the supplements that I take. You don't have to do any of that for us to be friends. We can actually think differently and still be friends. I take a lot of supplements because I look at my health more in a standpoint of prevention than cure. I do not want to end up in what is our medical system on the planet today, particularly in the US. I do my best to stay as far away from that system as possible. I take charge of my health in a preventative way. In other words, I really work to keep myself in a really healthy state so I don't wind up in the hospital. I don't wind up with a traditional medical doctor telling me I need these tests, or I need this drug, and I need more tests, and I need more drugs, yada, yada, yada. I prefer to manage my health so that I don't end up in that system. What does that mean? That means that I take a lot of supplements. I do a lot to support my body. And the reason that I do that is because we live in a pretty toxic environment. The water is not as clean as it could be. The food supply is very toxic with chemicals and processed foods and things that I don't want in my body. The air has become toxic. There's barium, strontium, and aluminum falling everywhere, including on us. There's pesticides being sprayed on the soil, particularly glyphosate and some other creepy things. We are really inundated with a toxic environment. I know what's going on the planet. I understand it. And so I do everything I can to make sure that I'm keeping my body in as healthy shape as possible. And I want to just give myself a little bit of credit here. I am 68, almost 69 years old. I'm just a few months from turning 69, which is not that far from 70. I am healthy. Nothing hurts. I can squat down to my butt is on the bottom of my ankles. I hop out of bed in the morning with a lot of energy and interest in getting busy with my day. I don't have any aches and pains, and I am on zero medications. And I'll go into that a little bit into this video that I'm going to get a lot of heat for. I just prefer to invest my dollars into prevention and into my health than into monthly overpriced insurance packages, ridiculous copays, and then have to fight with my insurance company after a whole lot of tests and procedures for them to even pay a portion of what the bill is. I don't want to play that game. That's a game that a lot of people like to play, and that's fine. We can still be friends. I just have decided that I'm going to invest those dollars into taking care of my body before it gets sick. And so far, it's really worked for me. I have treated my body this way for a long, long time, and it's gotten more intense as I've gotten older and our environment has gotten more toxic. I'm going to walk through today what I take on a daily basis. And some of you are just going to have a conniption. I know that. I know that. But this is what I do. I'm not saying that anyone else needs to do it. As a matter of fact, I very, very rarely talk about my supplement routine ever to anybody unless they ask specifically, like so many of you have. I have no business, absolutely zero business, telling anybody else how to manage their body. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I've had no medical training. The only information I have is the research I've done and the feedback that I've gotten from my own body. And I really do pay attention to how my body's feeling. And what I mean by that is if I wake up and I'm feeling a little puffy, like my fingers feel tight or my ankles feel tight, I pay attention, like what did I eat yesterday? Did I take something yesterday? What was I exposed to yesterday? I really monitor my body because I want to continue to do fun stuff. I want to continue to be active. I want to continue on feeling fabulous. So I make sure that I take care of my body. I haven't turned it over to anyone else, and I really have not turned it over to the medical industrial complex. I just don't want much to do with that. Now, the caveat is that if I break my leg, that orthopedic surgeon is going to be my new best friend. I have no qualms going to the source that's really going to help me. That's a different deal than just taking care of my body on a daily basis. So I have got all my supplements over here. I'm not going to show you the table because you'd be overwhelmed. But I am going to talk with you about what I do on a daily basis. I will have everything listed down below, but I caution you, don't go run out and buy it. Do the research first. See, does this make sense to me? What do the studies have to say about that? Do I think that that could positively impact me? Make sure that you take charge of your body because this is what works for my body. Here is another little piece of information that I want to share with you. I was actually on a medication for about a year and a half, and I don't even know how to pronounce it, but it was for my thyroid because I had hypothyroidism. And how that presented itself in my life is I would wake up with a ton of energy, go through my morning, but once the afternoon hit, like 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I would just crash, totally crash. And it wouldn't matter what I ate or what I did, whether I was active or not, I just would run out of steam to the point that I would almost be dizzy. I would then take a little nap, sometimes 20 minutes, sometimes an hour, and I would wake up and I would be back on track again. I'd be energetic and functioning. But it bothered me. It bothered me that I couldn't go throughout the day with good energy, and I would have to make social choices whether or not I could participate in something that was an all-day event because I knew that afternoon crash was going to come, and me being social or being active during that time just wasn't working for me. So I got on a thyroid medication. It was like levothyroxine or something. Some of you know what it is. I don't even remember anymore because I'm not taking it. And I'm not taking it anymore because of some of the supplements that I've added to my routine. I really started focusing on natural supplements that would support the thyroid, and I started really addressing my adrenals because there's a part of me that's wondering if that afternoon crash for me, and maybe you have it too, had more to do with adrenal fatigue than anything else. So I'll kind of point those things out as I go through. First, I want to show you my daily supplement bucket. And I know you guys are going to faint when you see this. It's a lot. I know that. And this is not even everything. I also have this. And I also have this. And I also take this at night. And I also take this at night. So there's a lot that goes into my daily routine, but this is just how I have decided to do it. The reason everything is in a bucket is because I need to keep track of what I've taken so far that day. This bucket gets pulled out in the morning, and as I go through that supplement, I take it out of the bucket. So once the bucket is empty, I know that I've done all my supplements for that day. Do I take all of these all at once? No, not at all. I take them throughout the morning, pretty much into around my first meal of the day, which is about 12:30, 1 o'clock. So it's kind of a process. I generally am around the house in the morning, so I can take most of it, and then if I go out, I can come back and take the rest when I have my lunch. The first thing I take in the morning when I wake up, right when I come out and turn the coffee pot on, is this raw desiccated thyroid glandular. This is from Forefront Health. And I'll have all this listed down below. But again, don't go buy it just because I said I take it. Research it for yourself. I actually found this in relation to hypothyroidism, or thyroid that wasn't functioning as well as it could. And I have been taking this and I've been really, really loving it. This is just one of the pieces that I've added to my supplement routine that has helped me get off that medication. And you know, when I was taking the medication, I felt great. My energy was great. It was wonderful. I really didn't have any complaints other than the fact that I was getting heart palpitations. And that kind of concerned me. Plus, I don't just like taking prescriptions. If I can do it naturally, that's going to be my choice. So this desiccated thyroid glandular is one of the things that I take to really address that hypothyroidism. Next up, this is a peptide. And this is called, the nickname of this is Sloop. And if you talk to anybody who's kind of a peptide person, they're going to know what Sloop is. Sloop actually stands for SOUPP332, and it's kind of a darling of the peptide industry. I don't know if you've gotten on the peptide train yet. I do take peptides. I have done injectable peptides, which sounds scary, but it's really easy. My friend Connie, the functional nutritionist that I worked with for a long time, I still work with her. We just don't connect that much anymore because I'm doing great. She really got me started on the peptide bandwagon. This particular peptide is from Limitless Biotech, and I take this as a supplement to support working out. This supplement actually clicks your body into a process that's very much like working out. And so when you use it in conjunction with working out, and I take this first thing in the morning, kind of after my first half a cup of coffee, and it starts that process in your body of really kicking into growing lean muscle and burning fat. So the Sloop, SLUPP332, there are other companies that make this as well. This one in particular sells out really fast. And what I did the last time I purchased it is I purchased a few bottles because it had been sold out for a long time. There's 60 in this bottle, and I take one of these a day. Next up is Pure Body Extra. This is a heavy metal detox. And you're probably saying, well, what do you mean heavy metal detox? Well, we have heavy metals everywhere in our environment. We have aluminum, barium, and strontium being pumped into the atmosphere. We've got heavy metals all around us. And heavy metals really are behind a lot of the issues, particularly for older people like Alzheimer's and dementia, they will generally have, based on the studies I've read, go read your own studies, don't believe me, a lot of aluminum in their brains, and which is the connection between heavy metals and ongoing diseases. So this Pure Body Extra, you just spray 4 pumps of this underneath your tongue, and I use this every single day. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to have someone from this company do a little interview with me because I want to do a deep dive into heavy metals and what you can do about it. So Pure Body Extra, this is an advanced daily cellular detox. Love this stuff. Next up, we have adrenals, and I heard about this from a girlfriend. This is really a very comprehensive vitamin B supplement. I take 2 of these a day, and oh my gosh, I can tell you that when I first started taking these, I could really tell a difference in my energy level. I don't notice it so much now because my energy is so high right now. I really am doing great in the energy department. So these adrenals, this is a daily balance formula. I take 2 of these, and if you go and look on the product label on the web, you can find it on Amazon. It's where I order mine. You'll be able to see all the B vitamins that's in this supplementation. I really do love this formulation, and it's done great things for my energy level. I'm not even halfway through, you guys. Your head is probably swimming. I know that. This is Lugol's iodine solution. This is a great support for your body. And what I do is I have an electrolyte drink every single day. That's how I start my day. As a matter of fact, I am still working through today's electrolyte drink. I will mix up a big glass of water, put a scoop of electrolytes in it. I'm trying this one. This is new to me. I've only had it for maybe 3 or 4 days, and it's electrolyte drink mix powder. And what I'm going to do, and I haven't done it yet, is I'm going to compare the ingredients in this one to the others that I've tried. Ultima is the one that I've been using for a long time. Element is another one I love. In my mind, Element has the best flavor. It is quite spendy. It's probably the most expensive. This is very inexpensive. This was, I think, about $20. And how many servings does this have? This has 90 servings, so that's 3 months because I just take 1 scoop of this every day. So I mix up this drink right here, and I put 4 or 5 drops of the iodine in my morning drink, mix it up, and down it. I make sure that I drink this whole thing. What your body doesn't use will just get flushed out. So you don't have to worry about a buildup of iodine in your system. But iodine is really an important ingredient. I don't think we get nearly enough of it. I know our food supply is almost nutritionally derelict at this point. So iodine is important in my routine. Something absolute that I take every day, no matter what, even if I don't have time to take all the other supplements, like I'm hitting the road or something comes up, absolutely my C60. This is an amazing ingredient for energy. I really felt it when I first started taking the C60. It is so very impactful, or it was for me, absolutely. In addition, this has done amazing things for a lot of bodily functions for me. This is the most potent antioxidant that we're aware of on the planet right now. It blows vitamin C out of the water as far as the antioxidant capabilities. But I have noticed a lot of different things from taking C60. First of all, my energy level is fabulous. Second of all, I noticed a change in my skin just from taking this. My skin just looked smoother. It just looked a little bit more glowy. It just looked better. And the fact that this, the internal C60, did such amazing things to my skin. And how it happened is that I'd been taking this a couple of months and I started just catching my skin. You know how you'll glance down at your arm or your leg and I would think, wow, my skin looks really smooth. And the only thing I had changed was I was taking C60 every day. I take a teaspoon of this every morning, and they have little gummies, little round gummies that you can get. I keep a couple of those in my purse if I'm running out and I feel like, I'm getting a little low in my energy. I'll take one of those. That's about a little more than half a serving. So that'll just kick me through the rest of the day if I'm feeling like I've just done a lot and I'm kind of getting a little tired. So the C60, not only has it impacted my skin, but I know you're going to think this is weird, but this is what I've noticed. And I talked to one of my girlfriends that takes C60 too, and she noticed it as well. I think that it has really supported my bladder. And you're probably wondering, what do you mean your bladder? Well, a little while after I started taking this, I noticed my need to use the restroom throughout the day was a lot less. In other words, my bladder was holding the liquids comfortably a lot longer. And I also noticed it at night. I used to get up maybe 2, sometimes 3 times during the night to use the restroom. I drink a lot of fluid, so I just took it in stride. I'd get up, go to the bathroom, go back to bed, go to sleep. Now I wake up 1 time. And for me, that's a dramatic improvement. And I'm pretty sure it's the C60 that did that. And why do I think that? Well, C60 also makes a skincare line, which I use religiously as well. And one of the things that I noticed from the C60 was the skin under my eyes. That's what blew me away. C60 Power, which is the brand I use, it's C60 Power, they have an eye cream. That eye cream is amazing. And what I noticed from that eye cream is that really, really paper thin skin underneath my eyes, the real crepey paper-like skin that you get as you get older, wasn't paper-like anymore. It's not as durable or as thick as this skin, but it's not that crepey, paper-thin skin anymore. It feels more sturdy underneath my eyes. What that leads me to believe is the C60 has helped with the structure of my skin. And if it's helped with the structure of my skin externally, I'm thinking that it's helped with the structure of my bladder internally. So my bladder is a little less fragile and a little bit more supported. That's the connection I've made. I could be totally wrong, but it just seems to make sense to me. So I think that this has done a lot of things to my body other than give me energy and provide really good antioxidant support. So C60, absolutely 1 teaspoon a day. I never miss it. Now I want to get into the mushroom tinctures. I love mushrooms and what they can do for you. I am a big fan of mushroom tinctures, and I get mine from Birch Boys. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you'll know I love Birch Boys. It's a fabulous company. The owner is an amazing young man who's done wonderful things. These are the 2 that I use internally, and then I also get the mushroom coffee from Birch Boys, which not only tastes delicious, but it has a whole lot of mushrooms in it. So the lion's mane tincture, I take a teaspoon of this every day. I love it. This really helps with cognition. What I noticed when I first started taking the lion's mane is it was like the pipes in my brain had been blown out and cleaned out. My thinking was so much faster and so much clearer. No more fuzzy brain. I just felt like my brain was on steroids. And when I talked to Garrett, the owner of Birch Boys, after I'd been using this about a month, I said, is this what people find? He says, yeah, you nailed it. It's exactly it. Because when I started taking this, I said, don't tell me what you think it's going to do. I just want to experience it on my own. And he said, yeah, absolutely. And then I also take the Mitakei. This is a hormone support tincture. There's no claims about it, but that's what people notice, is that it really does kind of even out those hot flashes and that hormonal stuff. So these are two of the tinctures that I take every day. This particular product, this is new to me, and I have been testing and trying it this month. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue to use it or not. I can't say that I've noticed anything different, but then again, I'm feeling pretty great, so it's going to be hard to peg me up even higher. The one thing I really am tickled about with this particular formulation is it has black seed oil in it. This is from Nebulyft, and it is their sea moss, black seed oil, ashwagandha, burdock root, and bladderwrack formulation. And I saw this advertised as support for your thyroid. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and give it a whirl. I take about 3 dropperfuls of this every day. I like it. I love the black seed oil. If you haven't researched black seed oil, you might want to do it. It's really, really quite an interesting ingredient and pretty powerful. I might just end up getting black seed oil and taking that without re-upping on this formulation. So if you end up trying this, let me know how it works for you and whether you're loving it or not. And then the vitamins that I take every day, I take a liposomal vitamin C. This is a 1500 milligram per serving. So 2 capsules of this vitamin C, and I try to get sun on my body every day, 20 minutes over as much of my body as possible. So I'll go out on the back patio in a pair of shorts and a short sleeve t-shirt and just let that sun hit my body. So vitamin C, and then I also take an ADK formulation. I take one of these. But I do feel like getting sun on my body is really, really important, and I try to do it as often as possible. I can definitely supplement with vitamin C and vitamin D, but at the end of the day, the sun is going to be the best source for both of these. And then we need to talk about gut health. Everything starts with the gut. If I see someone with an ailment or with an issue, I'm always wondering in my mind, how's your gut health? If our gut is in great shape, our body just functions so much better. I've been taking the Ion Gut Support for years now. I actually started on it before I started my YouTube channel and was just amazed. If you're feeling puffy, or if you're feeling uncomfortable, or if you have digestive issues and you haven't really focused on your gut, I can tell you unequivocally that of all the products I have suggested or shared on my channel, this is the one that I get the most comments on, that it's absolutely changed people's lives. Everything from IBS to constant digestive issues to everything. This stuff is amazing. And I hear from so many of you repeatedly that it's made just an incredible impact on your health. If I skip this or forget it or run out, what I notice is that my digestion is not as smooth as it usually is, and I get really, really puffy. So I make sure I take this. I generally do 2, maybe 3 servings a day. It tastes like water. It's really super easy to take. And if I'm going to be going out to a restaurant, I will take a serving of this before I go, because most restaurants are working with seed oils and processed food. I don't know where their meat came from. I don't know how many antibiotics and other chemicals are in that meat. I don't know if they're using organic produce, which I prefer. So I make sure that I go into any meal in a restaurant covered with my Ion Gut Support before I even leave the house. So this is a big one in my world. So that's what I take in the first half of the day, but it doesn't stop there. At night, I take something called Pure Sleep. This is a powder, and I mix it with warm coconut milk and a little bit of heavy cream, and this really, really helps me sleep. I don't generally have a problem falling asleep. This is probably why. But the coolest thing about this is not only that it's an excellent sleep aid, the way I feel when I wake up in the morning is amazing. I wake up and I am online. I am online and ready. I'm not groggy. I'm not creaky. I'm not, begging for a cup of coffee so that I can think. I'm already feeling really good. But of course, I do love my coffee. Don't forget that. I love my coffee. So Pure Sleep, this was put together by Cliff High. He's a bit of a genius and a bit of an eccentric character. He was diagnosed with terminal colon cancer and ended up literally physically dying, coming back, and then having to rebuild his body. And this is a formulation that he came up with. Guy's a genius, and he worked with the people at Pure Bulk. If you're familiar with Pure Bulk, you'll know what I'm talking about. Pure Bulk is a supplement company that just offers the raw ingredients. So if you like to cook things up, little, formulations up yourself, Pure Bulk will be your best friend. He worked with the people at Pure Bulk to put this together. So the fact that he's working with Pure Bulk and I trust him implicitly, this was a really, really easy choice for me. I've been taking this for years now, probably 3.5, 4 years. Absolutely love it. Also at night, I take my Jupiter Dreamland. This is CBD oil, and I initially started taking CBD oil because of my hands. This was way back, gosh, in my mid-50s. I'm 68, almost 69 now. And in my mid-50s, I started waking up and I would have to crack my hands to get them going. And it kind of freaked me out because my mother and my grandmother both had debilitating arthritis, gosh, when they were much younger than I am now, like in their early 50s. And my grandmother had, her hands were like this into her later life. I didn't want to get like that. So I did some research and I found that CBD oil was really good for joint health. So I started taking it. It did help with my joint health, but there's a lot of bad, nasty tasting CBD oils out there. I finally was able to find Jupiter. It tastes great. It's really, really consistent in the formulations. So I take a dropper full of this underneath my tongue every night before I go to bed. It not only helps me sleep, this is the Dreamland formula, but I don't have, look at my hands are great. And again, I'm almost 69 years old. They don't hurt. I don't have any swollen joints, nothing. To be honest with you, I attribute that to my CBD oil and all the rest of the supplements that I take to keep my body as healthy as possible. Well, that's my full supplement routine. And if your head is spinning right now, I totally get it. I do. I get it totally. You don't have to take this kind of supplement regime. Not many people do. They just don't. It's just how I do it. I am very, very interested in making sure my body feels great for the rest of the time that I have on the planet. I don't want to be stove up. I don't want to be walking around feeling like my body hurts or aches. I want to keep my full range of movement, which I have. I am an avid kayaker. I love to hike. I love to be mobile. I love to do a lot of stuff. I don't want to have to put up with my body breaking down, which is why I invest so much energy into making sure that I take care of my body as well as I can. Everything I talked about today will be listed below in the description box. But again, don't just run out and buy any of this. Do some research. Think about what your issues are. My philosophy is that if you don't know why you're taking something, then why are you taking it? Make sure that if you're going to take something, that it's addressing a need that you really, really have. If you have any questions about this crazy, wild supplement routine that I have, put them in the comment section down below, and I will try my best to get you an answer, at least point you in the right direction. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining me today for the full breakdown of my crazy, wild supplement routine. I'm actually in love with it, and I feel so good that I am darn well not going to stop. Again, I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything beauty, fitness, and lifestyle for the over 50 woman. You guys know it just makes my day when you take a few minutes out of your day to spend it with me. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. Make it a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.